Why does glass look invisible? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, have you ever looked out a window before and thought about how strange glass is? Glass is a solid object that you can actually see through. Now, how does that work? Pretty much every solid object I ever see in my whole life, I cannot see through. I just see the thing. But glass, I can see the glass, but I can also see what is behind the glass. Have you ever wondered why that is? I was thinking about glass today because I got some emails from some curious kids named Caleb and Abigail and Collins and Nora. They wondered, how do you make glass? Maybe if we figure out how glass is made, we'll figure out why we can see through it. All right, well, let's start with what it actually means to see something. Light from the sun, or an overhead light, or a lamp, it spreads out and shines on everything around you. When that light hits an object, some of it bounces off and travels into your eyes. Your brain takes that light and turns it into a picture of what you're looking at. So why can't you see through solid objects like wood or a book or a wall? Well, because in most solid objects, light does not travel straight through. It gets absorbed or it gets scattered, which means the light gets bounced in lots of different directions inside the material. When light gets scattered a lot, it can't make a clean picture of what is behind the object. Glass is different because of how it lets visible light pass through it. Many kinds of glass are made so that, in the part of light that we can see, the glass does not absorb or scatter much. That means lots of light can travel through in mostly straight lines. So your eyes can still receive a clear picture from the other side. But here's the thing. Glass is still doing things to the light. Some light gets reflected or bounced off the surface, which is why windows can look shiny or why you can sometimes see your face in a window at night. Also, when light enters glass, it still bends a little, and that bending is called refraction. That's why looking through glass looks almost like not looking through glass, but you could always tell when you're looking through glass. Refraction is why things can look a tiny bit shifted when you look at them through a thick cup or a fish tank. That's the word for it, refraction. So, why doesn't glass scramble light the way that wood or paper does? Because clear glass is very smooth and very even inside. When light goes into it, there aren't lots of tiny bumps or pieces in the way. The light can travel through in mostly straight lines instead of bouncing around in every direction. Some materials have lots of little particles or uneven spots inside of them, and when light hits those, it gets scattered. But clear glass doesn't have many of those tiny light scattering parts. But that said, when glass does have bubbles or scratches or rough surfaces, that's when it turns cloudy. Have you ever seen a window that was hard to see through? Sometimes you see them in a bathroom window. You know what I'm talking about? Those really cloudy windows. You know what those are called? They're called frosted windows. They're made with a rough surface, which makes light bounce around instead of going straight through. Okay, so we've talked a lot about this glass, but we haven't covered the main thing yet, which is, what is glass made of? What is this magical property that you can see through even though it's a solid object? Well, a common ingredient is something called silica, and you're not going to believe where silica comes from. It comes from sand. Yep, like at the beach. Sand. Manufacturers heat silica sand to extremely high temperatures until it melts. Often, other ingredients are added to help it melt and become strong. And once it's melted, the hot liquid can be formed into shapes like flat sheets for windows or bottles. Lots of things are made of glass. Then it's cooled in a careful way so it doesn't crack easily. And that careful cooling process is called annealing. Can you say annealing? You really don't want glass to crack. The thing that's so interesting about silica is that silica has a very useful property. When it melts and then cools, it becomes a solid that can let visible light pass through it without absorbing much of it. It's very unique in that way, and that's what makes clear glass possible. So glass looks invisible mostly because it lets a lot of visible light pass through without absorbing or scattering it too much. It still reflects and bends a bit, but you can still see through it. Pretty wild that glass is made of sand, isn't it? All right, let's have a quick quiz. What is the name for light bending when it goes into a new material like a window? We call it refraction. And what is the word for light bouncing off a surface like when you see a glare on a window? We call that a reflection. And what is one common starting ingredient for many types of glass? Silica from sand. Let's play true or false. True or false? Clear glass usually lets a lot of visible light pass through it. That is true. True or false? A window looks invisible because it makes no changes to light at all. That's false. It can still reflect some light and bend some light. True or false? Frosted glass blurs what you see mostly because it scatters light. That is true. True or false? Annealing means cooling glass in a careful way so it's less likely to crack. That is true, too. Would you rather have a roof made of glass or a car made of glass? Wow, imagine driving down the road and you could see the road and the cars all around you through more than just a window, like through the whole car. The whole frame of the car would be made of glass. That sounds pretty interesting. But a roof made of glass, as long as it was a very strong, sturdy glass, man, you could look at the stars from inside your living room. That would be so neat. Oh, or when you're sleeping at night, you could open your eyes and just watch the stars. That would be really cool. I'm going to go with the roof. All right, let's play What Am I? What am I? I bounce back lots of light that hits me. You can see your face in me very clearly. And you usually have a big one of me in the bathroom. What am I? I am a mirror. Well, the next time you look out a window, now you know why you can see through to the other side. Light is traveling from the world outside through the glass and into your eyes. And you thought sand was just for the beach. Nope. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out, so until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a few birthdays today. Today is Apollo's birthday. Apollo is from Colorado, and Apollo is turning 5. Happy birthday, Apollo. Nariman is from Minnesota, and Nariman is turning 7. Happy birthday, Nariman. Isabella is from Texas, and Isabella is turning 8. Happy birthday, Isabella. Matthew is from Georgia, and Matthew is turning 9. Happy birthday, Matthew. Atticus is from Maryland, and Atticus is turning 6. Happy birthday, Atticus. And Jocelyn is from Illinois, and Jocelyn is turning 5. Happy birthday, Jocelyn. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.